Hi everybody and welcome here to Harry Welsh Stadium on the campus of Canyon High School for the 2015 Parkway Motors of Valencia High School Football Preview. I'm Matt Robinson, the sports director here at SCVTV, and I'll be your host for all of our high school football coverage for 2015. Well, 2014 produced yet another exciting year of high school football in the Santa Clarita Valley. Outside of the Foothill League, Trinity Classical had another impressive year in the 8-man football division, going 8-1 for the fourth time in a row and losing in the semifinals. But this year they'll have bigger and better things on the horizon as they move to the 11-man football ranks for the first time. While much of the focus in the Santa Clarita Valley is often on the 6 Foothill League teams, there are 2 other schools in SCCS and Trinity Classical that have made the name for themselves in football over the last few seasons, mostly in the 8-man division. Both have now jumped to 11-man football and want to continue making a name for themselves in the 2015 season. Now moving on to Trinity Classical Academy, who had another impressive season last year in 8-man football, going 8-1 for the 4th season in a row and making the semifinals for the 3rd year in a row. The Knights couldn't get much farther than the semifinals though, as they lost 42-6 to Joshua Springs, ending their season. But they have bigger things on the horizon for 2015 as they move to the 11-man football ranks and will jump into the very difficult East Valley division of Division 8 football. They hope to stay on the top of the food chain, playing a freelance league schedule in 2015.
Very good. We're very optimistic about the upcoming season. It's exciting. It's a little scary, but exciting. And like I've told many other people, we're a team that basically we walk by faith. So everything's faith. We take steps and we just look for things to happen along the way, but we're very optimistic about our chances. Right now, we just want to get in. We want to get in and we want to see that we fit and be highly competitive. We want to take the same position that we possessed in 8-man football, which we were at the top of the food chain. We want to come in and we want to make some things happen. We still want to let them know that Trinity's here and we're about excellence.
The biggest question for the Knights coming in will be how they transition from 8-man to 11-man football.
There will be a transition, but it won't be that's very great, because when we took over the job last year, we immediately began to teach them 11-man principles. So even though we played 8-man last year, we were running on an 11-man system. So they'll have very, very little to learn.
Definitely there's just the whole culture of the school where that's going to be the biggest shift in my opinion. Coming from a smaller Christian school, we're going to have to get the numbers out here, which I believe we will. And I believe when we get the numbers out here, we'll be ready for 11-man, and that will completely change how Trinity views Trinity football.
Transition is just bigger and faster guys, but it's no problem when you got a coach like Coach Les Robinson helping us get stronger every day, helping us get stronger.
And while growing pains in the transition is unavoidable, the Knights will have the benefit of a group of returning players who had success in the 8-man football division.
First of all, there's our senior, Ian Cadow. He's about 6'2". He plays about 215, 212. He led the state in tackles with 167 tackles, so we can't wait to turn him loose. We also have our junior, Caden Cope was our all-state player as well. Played running back and receiver for us. He had 53 receptions, 24 touchdowns, and rushed for 933 yards, all while making 98 tackles. And then we have our super sophomore, that would be Ryan Damaris. Ryan Damaris is about 6 feet tall, weighs about 190 pounds, very slick, very quick. He had 33 receptions, he averaged 6.7 yards a carry, and he had 105 tackles, and he's going to be something else.
I know that Ian Cadow is going to have a huge year on the defensive side of the ball. Just a super crazy athlete, great basketball player. He's tall, he's strong, he's quick, so Ian's going to have a standout year.
Definitely Ryan Damaris. He's going to be a sophomore. I've played alongside him for quite a while now, since Pop Warner. We've been great friends, and he had a pretty good year last year, great receiver, and we'll probably see big things from him this year.
The Knights will rely on Cato, Culp, and Damaris heavily going into 2015, but they will have to find additional sparks, especially with the loss of two-way standout Colton Oshiro, who threw for 1,500 yards and added 106 tackles on defense. While replacing Oshiro on defense may not be a problem, as a number of guys look poised to step into that role in 2015, offensively might be a different story, as the Knights only have one returning player from 2014 with quarterback experience in Tyler Lee.
We'll probably have at least 8 guys going both ways. We have to play hammer-man ball, but we're used to that. That's kind of what 8-man football is about. Usually get your hands on 7 or 8 good players and they play both ways. So we'll be ready. We'll be ready in that aspect.
And while the transition both to 11-man football and away from experienced players may scare some teams, the Knights know if they do one thing, the rest will fall into place.
Execution. If we can execute our offense and we can execute our defense and stay relatively healthy, we should be there near the end. We should finish very well.
To be never stop fighting.
Tell me a little bit more. Why never stop fighting?
Never stop fighting, because in 11-man the game can keep going back and forth, score can go back and forth, and with our team we're fighters, so we're never going to stop fighting. We may be down by a few points, but it's no big deal when you got a great coach and you got amazing athletes like we have on our team.
Just giving all-out effort, just believing in our system, believing in Coach Rob, trusting in our system, being patient, and giving everything we got on the field, and I think we'll be all right.
Taking a look at the Knights' schedule now for 2015, an interesting one in their first season of 11-man football, as they only have one team with a winning record on their schedule from last year, and that's Desert Christian Academy. Should still be a difficult schedule, as it's their first year in the 11-man ranks, so a transition period is expected. As mentioned before, the big game to watch is the one on October 10th against their Valley rival, Santa Clarita Christian. SCCS was the first of those teams to make the jump to 11-man football back in 2011 and have since done a nice job making the playoffs 2 times in 4 seasons, showing up as a contender each year. Last year they were ever so close to making the playoffs once again, losing in the final 2 games of the regular season to Capistrano Valley Christian and Saddleback Valley Christian to end their seasons. The Cardinals, though, were poised to bounce back in 2015 after what Coach Garrick Moss says is their strongest offseason to date.
Yeah, our offseason has been crucial. See, for me, coaching varsity baseball at our school, I have to rely on our coaches to run the spring. And Chaz Anderson, when we brought him in last year to coach and run the offense, he's taken our strength training program to the next level. They start in January. They go all the way through today. They had a real good lifting day, and that's been the major difference, is what we do in the strength and conditioning part of our program. This year we've had 25 guys from January through summer. Now we have 30-something. We'll probably have 40 signed up to play football, but Chaz Anderson and the rest of the coaching staff has been the vital piece to our preparation for a great season.
The updated offseason routine isn't the only new thing to the Cardinals program in 2015, as this year will be the team's first with new defensive coordinator, former defensive coach at Canyon High School in Norm Monez.
This guy is sitting and talking to him in the offseason about his defensive philosophy and plan for if he were to come to our school and coach our defense. Is, to me, the guy is a very, very, very good coach, and I can't believe we've landed a guy like that at our school with that much experience. I mean, coaching at Canyon High, who's one of the top programs, you know, when Harry Welch was there, it was state title in the hunt every year. And he's learned under great coaches. He's a very coachable coach. He wants to keep learning as a coach, but he's got his philosophy, his style, and he's implementing that, and I can't wait.
Offensively, the system won't change as offensive coordinator Chaz Anderson brings the dynamic team's offense back. However, the formula is different, as a new quarterback will step in to replace graduating senior Jonathan Saavedra.
Tristan Miller transferred here from Texas, where he was the starting quarterback at a 6A school, JV quarterback at a 6A school in Texas. He'll now be a junior, so he's played the biggest level of football in Texas, and he's a quarterback. He's been groomed to be a quarterback since he was a little kid, 7-year-old. These other 2 guys are athletes that we can put back as quarterback and run some whole different offense. But Tristan Miller is an intriguing part of this piece to the puzzle to see how quickly he can pick up a college offense at the high school level. So.
Miller will have help from a strong returning receiving corps, including Jacob Moss, John Luke Wilson, and sophomore Michael Uribe, who had an outstanding season with 444 yards receiving in just his freshman year.
Just hard work and just dedication and just a lot of teamwork, because we have a smaller team. We don't have any big like hard-hitting guys, so we're just all speed, and we just have to rely on each other and trust on each other. Our coach was telling us how we need to be able to look at one of the freshmen in the eye and say, I trust you, I believe in you. Like, if we put you in this situation, we'll be able to count on them for what we want to do. So just teamwork, basically.
The Cardinals also return a number of two-way starters who are expected to make an impact in 2015.
Returning linebackers, Brody DeRevere, he's going to be our running back. I didn't mention him on the offense, but he's vital to our offense. But he's a middle linebacker. Riley Petit, starting offensive lineman, returning two-way guy. Played linebacker and O-line last year, senior. He'll be vital. We have some guys, the Tyler Kalinsky, the backup quarterback. He's an incredible free safety. Some of those younger receivers, Jacob Moss, Caden Brenner, Luca Rona, all those guys battling for spots will fall somewhere because they're that athletic. Really, we're going to rely on our seniors of Brody DeRevere, David Webb, Tanner Matala, Riley Petit, and Lance Legault to they're going to be the core of our team, and then we have a bunch of young talent. You look at our offense, every receiver, quarterback, are all juniors and sophomores and even freshmen that will be playing.
Right on. DeRevere was second on the team in tackles and rushing yards with 103 and 251 respectively. Petit was solid on D, making 54 tackles while also strengthening the offensive line. Perhaps the biggest news for the Cardinals in the offseason is the addition of a huge rivalry game on their schedule against Trinity Classical Academy.
We wanted to make sure we got on the schedule, and we need a good, healthy in-town rivalry. I mean, we're traveling to Orange County for league games, and to me, I mean, to have a small private school like them who do things really well, and just to have that healthy rivalry back that we have in basketball and we have in baseball and we haven't had in football is really exciting. And to me, that's a big game on our schedule because of the rivalry.
Although the rivalry is likely circled on each and every player's calendar, there's still one goal for the Cardinals in 2015 and one way for them to get there.
We don't worry about anyone else but ourselves. That's what we preach, is we want to worry about what we're doing and that we're preparing well. And if we end up meeting the St. Margaret's in the playoffs, so be it. But we're going to prepare week after week to be the best team we can be, and that's kind of the coaching staff's mantra. So,
taking a look at SCCS's 2015 schedule now, difficult as always, and it will be even tougher as they will go back-to-back-to-back weeks against Webb, Capistrano Valley Christian, and Saddleback Valley Christian near the back half of their season, a stretch that is likely to determine whether they make the playoffs or not in 2015. A big game on the schedule as of note, as we talked about on October 10th, the first ever 11-man football meeting between Trinity Classical and SCCS should be an exciting one, as all those games in every sport between those two teams are very, very well played and very exciting. Well, that's going to do it for the 2015 Parkway Motors of Valencia High School football preview. We want to say a special thanks to all the parents, coaches, and players that gave us unprecedented access to their teams in this process. And also a special thanks to Assistant Principal here at Canyon High School, Andy Keene, as well as Head Coach Rich Gutierrez, who gave us access here to iconic Harry Welsh Stadium for the show here tonight. For everybody associated with SCVTV Sports, I'm Matt Robinson. Look forward to another exciting 2015 football season here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Thanks for watching, everybody.